It's strange to think that 6 months ago I wrote a text that basically said I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and here I am now, feeling like I've got everything under control, that I have direction, that life is simple. And all I've done really is make some changes. Well, wouldn't say all I've done, but yeah, it's a process of reflecting. It's a process of reflecting and working out what is truly important in my life and zoning in on those things. Made some changes to the way I structure my day, particularly in the morning and the evening, and when sleep is evading me. And as I said, I feel like I'm in control. I guess the opposite of that is that there are still plenty of times where I am not in control, and I am okay with that. And that's possibly something that has had the most significant impact in this change. Just having a need to be in control of everything and realizing that, you know, I guess for one, my daughters are their own people, and the way that they think and the way that they do, I can influence them, but they're ultimately their own little selves. And I want them to find their own way with my guidance. So, yeah, I think what I'm saying here is it's about letting go. Zoning in on the things that I truly can control that matter, and then observing and influencing the ones that I can't. It's about being at peace with those things. I do have a bunch of, I guess you would say, um, mantras with descriptions that have a deeper meaning. And that's something that I've been sharing on socials. I have 10 of them, 6 of which I've already shared. But I've put a lot of thought into them. Essentially, the last couple of months have been me ironing out what those things are. And I should say, I didn't say, hey, dude, come up with 10 things. That's not how it worked. It just actually panned out that way, that there were 10. So nice even number, don't you think? So I'm just going to bring up those 10 things now and share them with you. The first one is simply let go. Even if it brings me feelings of safety and security, I take a moment to consider its true impact on my overall well-being. And to break that down, you know, we find comfort in things that make us feel safe, that provide familiarity, predictability, and security. But comfort doesn't always mean it's good for us. I know now, I now constantly ask myself, is this truly supporting my well-being? Or is it simply a behavior that I'm comfortable falling back on? Growth at times can begin. Growth at times can begin when we find the courage to release what no longer serves us. And, to give an example of that was that, up until maybe 3 months ago, I was quite obsessed with playing a particular video game, uh, to the point where it was, I wasn't doing any of the other things that I loved doing. I just wanted to grind that out and get the rewards. And it's all I could think about. I mean, it wasn't all I could think about, but it's when I had my downtime, that's all I wanted to do. And it was a an escape from reality. I was in some tough, dark places and I couldn't see the light, as I said earlier. And whilst I do love that, I recognize that, sorry, I do love the element of, gaming and interacting with others, all that jazz. It's fun, but it no longer was fun. It was just jumping in, doing what I had to do, and then jumping out. I wasn't even doing the parts that I really enjoy. It was just going through the motions. So I haven't really jumped into it much in the last few months. I just jump in, have a look, see what's new, and then I jump out. And there may be a time where, I start to enjoy it a bit more, but it won't be in that obsessive state. The next one is true grounding. I relish in the things that feel good and grounding in my body. I guess that kind of carries on from the last one, but I'll break it down a bit more. I'm working on being more aware of how everyday activities and interactions feel in my body. It can take time to recognize a bout of anxiety or slightly unsettled nerves, but each day I'm picking up on it sooner. It's my intuition, my gut screaming that what I'm doing is not right for me and encourages another path forward, or to disconnect entirely. To this, I must listen. It's my intuition, my gut, screaming that what I'm doing is not right for me and encourages another path forward, or to disconnect entirely. To this, I must always listen. Similarly, when I feel the opposite, i.e., the feelings of peace or calm or even mild joy, when it feels like my soul is deeply rooted in the earth, I know that it's for me and I work towards further exploration. I found that the key here is to practice bodily awareness through any activity I am partaking in. By listening to and following my intuitive side, I'm staying true to what feels right for me. And I guess that an example of that is, you know, listening to my body is just being aware of how the body is reacting in certain situations. So if I am dealing with my special needs daughter, for example, and I feel quite tense and uptight, I'm reflecting on that and uh, in the moment, I'm being aware of how my body is reacting, my tenseness, whether I'm feeling short of breath or kind of tight in my chest. That's anxiety creeping in, and I know what to do to resolve it. The next one, number 3, surrender control. It speaks a little bit to what I mentioned earlier. So I welcome support from those with good intentions. I allow them to help, at least with the little things. I'll break that down a bit. Life is busy, chaotic, stressful, joyous, funny. It's so many things and then more, all at once or on rotation. Mine, it moves in cycles. There are amazing times where I'm on top of the world. There are times of despair where the pitch black tunnel seems endless. It's important for me to recognize each of those in the moment, but more importantly, and regardless of whether I'm cruising or surviving, I must accept support from the people I love and trust when it appears. Welcome it with open arms and remind myself that I may or may not be done using it may or may not be done using my specific method or to a perfectionist standard, but it sure will be done. Through both the highs and lows, I've learned to show grace and appreciation for the love and care my family receives. And talking about control, an example there would be, me being a solo parent, trying to take on the world. And my daughter does have support workers um, who are in uh, my home regularly, and that takes away a lot of privacy. Um, and this is absolutely not a single thing against them because I adore them and I love their work. Um, but there have been times where I've just felt I need to be in control of everything and make sure everything is done to perfection, the way that I like it. And um, that generates more anxiety than it should. And that's one of the things I've learned to take a step back and let the support workers take the lead. And I don't mean in just caring for my daughter, but in just um, supporting with things that my daughter, were she a typical child, would be doing herself. So the things that she's not capable of doing, such as certain chores or anything like that, they get her involved and or do the task instead of her. Um, and I appreciate every small to big piece of support that they bring along. The next one, number 4, material values. I regularly assess the material possessions that surround me and decide if they add value to the life I want to lead. So I've been vegan for the most part of the last 5 or 6 years. And Um, I've always known that it's not just about a diet, um, and I've slowly transitioned in the background the non-diet aspects of being vegan. Um, so it's being more conscious of the things that I purchase, and where I purchase from, and the things that I hold on to in home that relate to that. The other aspect is it's quite easy to accumulate things. And in this world that's built for consumerism, we're constantly bombarded with buy this, buy that. It's going to solve all your problems. The reality is, um, it's actually quite easy to fall into those traps. And I have, like many other people, accumulated things that I probably didn't really need. So it's being more conscious of um, what I bring into my home, whether it truly adds value to the life that I want to lead. Um, and on the other hand, holding on to things. I've got a garage full of things that are on their way out and working towards having somewhat of a garage sale. Um, Side note, I can't do marketplace. That is a bit of a cesspool for people, full of people that just want to waste your time. Um, I've, as someone wanting to purchase, I've done okay, but every time I try to sell something, it's a nightmare. So I think probably garage sale or even just leaving it out on the curb, people will take what they need. Oh, the other thing actually is there's a buy nothing community in the area. And if you're not sure what buy nothing is, I suggest you look into it. It's fantastic. So I guess I can delve into that one a little bit deeper anyway. So material values. Many people accumulate things over the years, from useful tools, appliances, clothing, and trinkets, and that's just to name a few of the endless list. Often there are things that hold attachments to dear memories, a concert, a relationship, an adventure, or a time, place that can't ever be revisited. My theory now is that everything has a date in which it shall be inherited as useful for someone else or thoughtfully returned to the earth. With this in mind, I am able to consciously let go of the things that no longer serve a purpose. In the same vein, I consciously choose to buy only new things if a recycled version is not available. Um, and I'm not saying that I go and throw out all of my things that hold dear memories to me. There's certainly some things that I will keep forever in terms of um, things that I could pass down um, through my kids. So um, yeah, things that I think will add fond memories and value to their lives, help them become or remain thoughtful little humans. The next one, number 5, I'm going to make this the last one for today, and I'll do another recording that covers off the other 5. Um, so yes, number 5, be seen and heard. I will speak loud of my true desires, my values, and my beliefs. I won't dim my light. My true self will be seen and heard. So before I go off on a spiel about that, I'll just continue reading. With the continued theme of being true to who I am, I will acknowledge my doubts and then set them free. I have for too long allowed negative thoughts to impact my future, to carry too much weight into my decision making. I will be aware of the internal voice that shares concern. It is an important part of the process. However, it is ruled by anxiety, and I will ensure that it is recognized and dealt with accordingly. I will encourage myself to speak my truths. I will be seen and heard when my values, beliefs, and desires are questioned. I will be a loud voice for the voiceless. And there's so much that I can break down in that. But essentially, what it is I am no longer going to be small. I know that my voice is valid. My thoughts are valid. I have the confidence to do so, and I want to stand up for what is right. I won't go off on a tangent because I've spoken about these things quite a lot lately, but the simple fact is that I will be seen and heard, and I will be a voice for the voiceless. So that wraps it up for today. And I hope there's something in there for you listening. And I am not sure where to go from here, but this is a part one, and I'll come up with part two in the near future. You can find more and more about me and my thoughts and my ideas um, relating to my personal journey and getting back to being one with nature and all that on my socials. So you can find Elemental with 1 and 7 pretty much on every platform. I think the only one I'm not on, say yet, is X, aka Twitter. And I'm thinking I might rejoin Twitter just because it is another space to shout my voice. It's still quite a large community on X, so yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I've given X too much time. Anyway, thank you for listening, and hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.